North of the community of Deer in the Ozark National Forest is the Alum Cove National Recreation Trail and Natural Bridge. This unique trail begins at the Alum Cove picnic area and then, after 4/10 of a mile, turns into a loop trail which leads down to a bluff line across the cove, and then, after 1.1 miles, ends back up at the Alum Cove Natural Bridge, which, from the top, looks like any other average man-made bridge, especially with the side rails that were added. But from the bottom, it's a whole different story. The view from beneath this natural stone arch truly is magnificent. In fact, the video really doesn't do it justice. Spanning some 130 feet across, this is one of the most unique geological features in the Ozarks. So how did something like this form? Well, the explanation is, being comprised of quartz sandstone, the arch was once a part of a huge bluff shelter, and over eons upon eons, the weathering process of wind, rain, and ice eventually caused a large gap, forming the arch, separate from the remaining rock overhang or bluff shelter. This natural bridge even served a useful purpose back when the Ozarks were first being settled. Reportedly, settlers used this arch to move their wagons and livestock over the stream bed during the rainy seasons. And the rock overhang itself was used by Native Americans thousands of years ago as shelter while they were on extended hunting trips. If you take the trail farther down to the bluff line, there you'll find some rather unique and eerie formations that would be well worth your while to explore. The convenient steps that are built into sections of the trail make this venture a whole lot less strenuous, especially going uphill. And before you know it, you'll have reached one of the cave-like rooms along the bluff line. Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Just hope there's no bears. At one time, free-roaming goats inhabited these cave-like rooms, giving the formations the local name, goat houses. And as you'd know it, we ran into a couple of other explorers enjoying this fascinating area. Leanne Seidemann and her husband were out on their, as they put it, wherever our hearts take us trip.
Well, I have a birthday in January, and my husband has a birthday in February, and so we decided that we would pick a nice weekend, and we would just get in the car, and if I said right, we would turn right, and if we saw a bird fly left, we would turn left. And so we are just exploring Arkansas and enjoying ourselves and enjoying the beauty that God gives us in this beautiful state that we live in.
Fantastic. And what do you think about the Alum Cove area here?
It's great, and it was my husband's idea to come here. We actually missed the glory hole. We didn't exactly know where that was. We were going to go look at that, but I'm an amateur photographer, so he tries to appease me with that. I mean, we slow down sometimes to maybe 50 miles an hour so I can get a good shot, but a lot of times he'll stop and we'll hike and enjoy getting pictures and just enjoy seeing what we see.
Well, what do you think of that natural bridge?
Oh, I think it's awesome. I think it's very interesting. I can't imagine driving wagons over the top of it.
Really?
I have a fear of heights, so that wouldn't have worked for me very well.
So get out and explore the Alum Cove Natural Bridge Geological Area and the Alum Cove National Recreation Trail. It's a definite must-experience adventure. South of the Ponca Wilderness area in the upper portion of the Buffalo National River Valley, a late winter tradition continues that most people usually associate with New England. Maple syrup gathering isn't strictly concentrated to just the northeastern states. We met up with a family here in the natural state whose maple syrup production has been a way of life for quite some time.
As far back as I can remember, we've done maple syrup, and you know, I was telling you earlier, the thing I always wanted to do the most was play in the fire. That it was just a draw to play in a campfire. But we've done it forever. Of course, I didn't get to help much when I was little, but I always enjoyed it. The same kettle that we use now is the kettle that my great grandmother used. It's her kettle, and we still use it. We use a lot of the same. We use the same technique. We use a few different tools. The drill is a really handy tool, and the new spouts, we don't have to worry about having to hollow those out and all of that. But as far as the way that we harvest and the way that we cook it down, it's exactly the same as my family did 100, 200 years ago. And they came here knowing how to do this. So, you know, because you don't go to Arkansas and decide, well, I'm going to start, you know, tapping maple trees. So they knew how to do this when they came here, and I think it benefited them in the way that they had sugar. But, you know, they made their sugar from that. They had honey, they had sorghum, and it just, who doesn't like sweets? So they carried on that tradition, and we've always done it to some extent. You know, some years we'll make more, some years we'll make less, but it's always, I always remember seeing the trees tapped, and the fire smells the same. It just brings you back.
Well, a lot of people, you know, elsewhere, they don't realize that actual, you know, maple syrup is tapped in Arkansas.
Right. It's a lot of people, even local people that have lived here their entire lives, they have no idea that anybody taps. They see these jugs on the side of the road sometimes in the winter, but they don't know why, apparently. But it's something that's definitely associated more with the North. But we've done it here forever, and we'll continue to do it. I hope my daughter will, even if she doesn't do it on a level to sell it, I hope she will at least maintain it so that she knows and carries on the tradition.
Of course, that taste is, I mean, you can't even compare, you know, store-bought maple syrup.
No. It's a very different taste. The smokiness, you get that from the fire, from the way that it's cooked. I know up north they're making farms now where they harvest, and it's a production harvest of maple syrup, and it's done very differently, and I really think the quality will suffer. Of course, I'm a purist. I like things done the old way, but I can't imagine cooking it indoors and it still having that smoky, you know, rich flavor.
Well, we've been doing it probably going on 49 years, me and my wife has, but my family has done it when I was just a little small kid. Too small to go with them, but it's been done for years, and they would go camp out for a week or 2 weeks or how long it took to get it done. And they, of course, back then they had horses and wagons, didn't have no vehicles. And we'd just, when I got old enough, then they had quit doing it for a couple of years or a while anyway and started farming. And we've lived on a farm in the backwoods of Newton County for all my life practically, except a couple of years. And it's just a family tradition that we've had. Me and my brother still does it in my family, and then my wife's family. They've done it for the same time. We're the 6 generations that's lived here in this area.
A lot has changed since those old maple syrup days. 4-wheelers have replaced horses, but Misty's father wanted to show us how collecting of the sap used to be done.
This is made out of elder bushes, and back then they didn't have plastics, and they would cut it, and they would either take a stick or a hot iron and reach through and push a path out. And you got to be careful about putting them in, especially this one's old. This one's probably 50 years old or older. And this one I keep. But you can't tighten them as bad. You'll bust it. But wood, when it gets wet, will swell up and tighten it off. That's my pride and joy. That's what I have.
We probably won't use it to tap.
Oh, we'll stick it in there so you can see it. I always put them at a little bit of angle. I don't know if you...
I can see now why you use the drill. You call it water from the tree.
We call it sugar water, and when it runs, it's you can taste it, and you can taste a little bit of sugar in it, even just when it first runs out. But it has to freeze, and usually in February, the first and second week, when the nights freezes and the days thaws out, and then it'll run good. And if it warms up like this year, we've had 75 degrees for 2 days. Then the wind will dry that sap out of the tree, and it won't produce anything till it freezes again. And sometimes you have to go back and re-drill them to loosen it up to get them to run. And then we bring it to the house in jugs, and we boil it off in a kettle, or we have a wood stove in the house when it's real cold, when we've got a fire, and then we'll put it in the house and boil it down to either syrup or sugar. And normally it's syrup because we make very little sugar.
Now the cooking process is quite lengthy.
We can do about 15 gallons a day on a kettle like this one. It takes probably 12 hours or so to cook down 15 or 20 gallons depending on the fire, and it is a long process. It takes 15 gallons, you'll probably get about 2 pints of syrup out of 15 gallons. So it's time consuming. It's not a money maker, it's just because it's good.
But the end result is all worth it.
The end result is worth it, and it's not very many people that can actually get 100% pure syrup. There's nothing added to it. It just comes out of the tree and process it, and it goes into on the pancakes.
And pancakes is what we whipped up after a day of gathering the sap from trees and cooking it into that oh so sweet maple syrup delight.
So this is what it all comes to right here.
That's what it all comes to.
Mm-hmm.
All the work.
Oh, man. I tell you what, you can't buy this in a store.
You really can't. And you can taste the wood, the fire, the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
You've got it all. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. How?
It's good stuff.
That is. Mm-mm-mm.
Utilizing the same techniques as Native Americans used centuries ago, David Chronister of Dardanelle handcrafts so-called primitive wooden bows.
And then down here it grew pretty fast. Most of mine I won't say I only use hand tools, but the majority of my work, probably 95% of the stuff I do on a bow is done with hand tools. Native Americans, obviously, a lot of them used flint and stone tools, and I use more of the modern draw knives, metal, cabinet scrapers. You can take a piece of glass and break it and use it as a scraper. You know, rocks. I know of some guys that actually use flint tools just to say they've done it that way.
And as with Native Americans, the wood of choice for handcrafting fine quality bows is Osage orange or bodark.
Most of the bows I make is what I use, and part of that is I got lucky and lucked into some bodark wood. Basically, it was me cutting it and splitting it and seasoning it. Most of the wood I'm using now, it was cut and split probably 7, 8, 10 years ago, and usually wood, Osage in particular, from what I'm told, dries about 1 inch per year, as in seasons from green to where it's usable. If you get a piece and rough out a bow while it's green, some people say they can do it within 6 months or so. I've never tried that, but seasoned wood works better. Shoot the first arrow, which is the bottom.
David decided to handcraft primitive wooden bows after spending years hunting with modern fiberglass compound bows.
And that whole time I kept thinking I can make one of these, and I'd really think about it, and then I'd put it on the back burner and wouldn't do it. And then eventually I ran into an article, and a guy was selling wood for self bows. My intentions were always to build a glass-backed traditional bow, and when I saw this article, the guy was making solid wood bows and offered staves, wood for sale. So talked to him, and he's like, yeah, you can do that, it's no big deal. And he gave me some instructions. I had read a lot of articles on in magazines and other stuff, in books, and just never did take the first step to get it started, and he kind of pushed me over the edge, and I've been swimming in it ever since. So that was probably 12 years ago, and the first bow was a hickory flat bow, basically. Came in about 30 pounds, but it shot, and it still shoots today. Looks like a piece of crap, but it does shoot, and that was my only intention, was to get a bow that would shoot. And since then I've made, I couldn't tell you, 75 or 100 bows probably. Most of them has been, I give most of them away to friends and relatives or whatever. Still got a few around the shop, and always have 5, 6, 10, or 12 in different stages of being worked on. Usually what happens is I'll start one and get to a spot where there's something needs to be, it either needs to be heated and straightened or one thing, and I'll set it over in a corner, and then a few days later, a month later, I'll pick up another piece of wood and start on another one, and eventually go back, and I've got bows in different stages all over the shop.
Now when you're shaving off that wood, how long is that process? I guess until it start looking like a bow, huh?
There's some, if you get the right piece of wood, sometimes, and it depends on how big a hurry I'm in. Most of my stuff, I do it strictly for me, so it's not like it has to be done right now unless I'm in some particular hurry. Usually I don't even keep up with the time I work on one, but just an estimate, one that goes really well, probably 20 hours, 30 hours. I've had some that I've had 75 or 80 hours in, and then break them before they ever get shot. So, you know, but I don't see that as a failure. Most of those that broke were pieces of wood that would have, the odds of them making a bow was pretty slim to start with, and it was more of a challenge, personal challenge to myself, whether or not I could do it. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I'm pretty tickled with that group because I was actually shooting for that, so they were all within.
David also makes his own arrows.
These hold up pretty good. The only thing about ash is, I can see just, if you look down there, there's a little bitty, see just a little kink somewhere right in there. Not much, but there is some. And I'll shoot them and shoot them. So here's one that I actually shot about 3 or 4 months ago and lost it out here in the field. And found it about a couple months after. You can see that one's got a few kinks in it.
Straight as an arrow. Other than making bows and arrows, David also enjoys passing down his skills to others, especially kids.
I've taught several people how to build bows, and some of them will build one and they're happy and that's it. Some of them keep building. Some of them want a bow, but they don't want to work on it. To me, building something, I always like building my own stuff, and I try to build as much of my equipment as possible. You know, the kids, I just enjoy kids shooting. You know, to me, it's better than video games. It gets them outside. Plus, you know, the hunting thing is not as many people hunt these days as what used to. And I guess we're blessed here in Arkansas to have all the game and the opportunities to hunt, whereas, you know, at other places it's not quite that way. So anytime I can get a kid interested, it makes me feel good. Now,
of course, after watching David Chronister handcraft a bow, naturally, we had to make sure it worked properly. Well, as you might can tell, my archery skills need a little bit of improvement, to say the least. If you'd like to see this episode again, or any one of our others, or to order a copy of one, visit our website at aetn.org/exploringarkansas. And don't forget to like us on our Facebook fan wall. And we'll see you again the next time for another exciting adventure on Exploring Arkansas. Oh yeah.